good rainy afternoon. It is April 18th, Saturday. I'm having a good day off, or trying to. I'm here at the airport in this little hotel room trying to make good use of my time. So I have a buddy who is one of these get-rich-quick guys, and he's one of the types who likes to go to these seminars and learn about the next way to hustle to make money. And he has all of the usual books that are associated with hustling and trying to be rich. And he recently tried to offer me Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I was already familiar with anyway. But he's one of these, just a couple years older than me, and yet he's constantly hustling for ways to make good on what he considers lost time in his life on how to get rich. So he tries to go to all of these seminars and tries to put on the nicest jackets to look really spiffy for all the people. He buys these watches that are, they're supposed to be like a high name, but they're not fake, but they're similar to Rolex, a poor man's Rolex, as they call them. I don't recall the name. But this buddy of mine got me thinking, because he's always looking for ways to get rich. But it's been 12 years. He's no closer to his dream than anybody else. And I started to think of the comparisons between those who want to be rich and can never be, and those who want to lose weight and can never lose weight. And then it hit me, and I realized I feel kind of stupid for not doing a video on this when I started this channel. The reason some people tell me that, and they tell me this in the comments, and you guys have seen them in the comments, they say, I'm going to try OMAD, wish me luck. As if to say, weight loss to them is such a difficult and far-reaching goal that it's like going to Mars. It's like going to Uranus or Pluto. I mean, it's just, to them it seems out of reach, and their own mind reflects this back in the statements they offer. So they say things like, wish me luck, I'm going to try it. This sounds so good. This sounds great, but I've never been able to lose weight. What has changed now? That's what they're kind of saying. Whereas you get other people who find this channel and they say, hey, great channel, great content. I've already started. Before I or anybody else even offers them a word of advice, they don't say wishful thinking things. They just get started. They just go at it, and they say, oh, 1 meal a day, controlling your appetite, being a master of your emotions and your urges, stopping drinking, stopping drugs, eating once a day at a controlled time. And then before you know it, they're a week in. By the time they even make a comment on this channel, sometimes they're 2 weeks in. These are the people who succeed versus the people who do not. So getting back to my friend, we'll call him Pete. Pete goes to all of these get-rich-quick seminars, but he comes back. And when he has to go to his job, essentially shoveling imperial sugar part-time, he's so frustrated with the fact that his life isn't where he wants it to be. And we've had conversations about this before. He says, why can't I get rich? And I've told him, it's because you are not rich. The reason the idea of going to a get-rich-quick seminar is appealing to you is because you and money are opposites, because you are of low value and money is the materialization of high value. So because they are opposites, they are attracted to each other, or at least he's attracted to money because he doesn't have it. Now take somebody who's failed losing weight, who is a self-esteem case, who is probably a sad communicator. They're their own victims. They're reactive rather than proactive. And they're dealing with their own failures and their own self-esteem and their own sense of failure. And when they hear about OMAD, they say, yeah, wish me luck. I hope I can do it. I'm a weak little willow in the wind, and there's nothing really I can do. So the reason OMAD is unattainable to them, the reason weight loss success, intermittent fasting, all of the good hunger high, and the things that they would obtain are so far from them is because their minds are far from it. You are the work you do. That saying is up in my office right now at work. You are what you do. You are the value you offer. People who are rich do not talk about being rich. People who are rich do not talk about being rich because they have value that results in skills. They have a degree, but if they don't have a degree, they have experience. And if they don't have a whole lot of experience, they have a clever ability to take different concepts and points of view and put them together in a way that offers someone value. Money changes hands when problems are solved. What problem do you solve? Are you seeing where I'm going here? That's why all of these Park Avenue people who really live the Park Avenue lifestyle, they don't go around going to get-rich-quick seminars or money seminars at all because they are the money. Instead, the smart people who are semi-rich, who they know that there's a bunch of idiots and parasites who want to be rich, they're the ones that are charging to take people to seminars because they themselves are just sort of rich and they know that there's always going to be some fool who's greedy, like my friend Pete. And there'll always be people who will be chasing a dream. They're chasing a dream because the dream is the opposite of what they have. So apply this to your life. Those of you who failed, those of you who never seem to get ahead. If you can adjust your mindset, and this is a backdoor to success really. If you can adjust your mindset to say and to believe, hey, you know what? I really could do this. I know that I could do this because it's just a matter of not making excuses. It's just a matter of realizing you're going to be uncomfortable and you're going to have to adjust to a new norm. If you can say that and you can believe it, you can succeed because then success will not be far from you anymore. That's pretty much the crux of this video. If something seems too far distant to you, it's because you're not ready for it yet. Take the stars. Take the stars. We so badly, those of us like me who follow astronomy and cosmology and really love the idea of Mars and all of this, and we're continually faced with the fact that it's so daunting. The task is so far-reaching. We can't get there. We can't build a magnetic field on the planet. And I've talked about this in bits and pieces in other videos. But the real reason, the real problem, is because we're not ready. And when something seems too far out, when something seems too far away, it's because you're not ready for it. It's like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old trying to get algebra. You can't explain it to them because they're not ready to grasp that. And when the time comes that we are more evolved, we are more spiritually and socially aware, Mars will still be there. We'll get there. But right now, we haven't learned the lessons. We haven't achieved the technological awareness. We haven't achieved the spiritual awareness. We're still fighting on this planet over resources and crazy things like this corona business that's still eating at us. Hopefully going to end soon. All of this tells us that the reason Mars is so far, the reason Proxima Centauri, the nearest star, is so far is because we're far. We mentally do not believe we can get there. And that's why when we get back to going hungry, I get so many questions per week on how to make good use of your time when you're bored so you don't start eating. Folks, just because you're bored doesn't mean you should start eating. If you can put your mind to a new baseline and say the new me doesn't eat when we're bored, you don't do it. Then once you accept that that's a reality, it won't matter if you have too much time on your hands. It won't matter if a friend comes over and brings something to eat or wants to go out to eat, because you and success will have merged. Once you believe you can do something, it's no longer that far apart. It's just a matter of waiting to receive the results. And getting back to my friend Pete, good guy, he tries. He's a little greedy, but he hasn't learned his lesson yet. So despite all of the looking good and looking posh and thinking big, all of that is self-delusion. If you are something and you identify as something, you don't talk about it. That's why for all of these channels on OMAD who are copying my success, and sometimes very poorly and sometimes very bombastically trying to make OMAD a fad, what they're missing is that if you just succeed by doing, you don't succeed by talking about something, you don't succeed by making something more fun. You don't, and the most recent video I did on this, I touched on some of these same principles. You just go out and do it. And when you can merge that with who you are, and you say, well, I just do that, the same way you say, I get up at 6 a.m. You don't rejoice in the fact that you get up at 6 a.m. You just get up at 6 a.m. When it becomes that much of a habit, you will succeed. So make the application here. The back door to success is being successful. The back door to being a person who's in control of your health and your weight means doing things, not thinking about them, doing things that equal success. You're not going to go announce from the housetops that you are about to lose weight, that you're going to stun the world. That's ridiculous. Well, instead, you go out and you do it. You do it like you do anything else. And when you do that, you have a level of clarity. And that level of clarity is what had to be in place all along in order for you to succeed. So take that with you. If you're starting your journey again, take that little bit with you.